Hello, my name's Ed Hill. I'm the Senior Vice President and General Manager of Bazaar Voice here in EMEA. So I think that my choice to engage in the MSc around leading transformation in sales really came from two areas. Number one, I felt that I had almost unfinished business in education, having started a degree straight from school, but at the first Christmas holidays, come home to work over that Christmas period for a friend of mine in the software industry, and in fact staying in that job and never going back to university. So I certainly felt like there was unfinished business and something to prove from an academic perspective. But secondly, and probably more importantly, I felt as though I'd done relatively well in my career, but that had been based on really just good social skills and intuition and an ability to kind of manage change and lead transformation, but without any of the formal processes or academic principles really being understood. So just leading through intuition, as I say. So that opportunity to really learn mechanisms and processes and academic principles that I could apply to that transformation was really exciting for me. It would either help me to corroborate that my gut instinct was appropriate and correct, or actually, as it turned out, it would help me challenge my thinking and think more holistically and in a more sort of professional way around how that interaction and that transformation can take place. Yeah, so for me, the module that I found most interesting was the coaching module. Not only because we got to sort of visit interesting locations and speak with interesting people, but also because actually I found that ability to help other people to structure the way that they think and to enable them to really work out that quite often they already know the answer to the questions that they're asking themselves, but then it gets confused in their mental processes. So that ability to help other people, but also frankly to help myself, to learn how to coach myself, to learn how to structure and familiarise myself with the processes through which I could attain my best outcomes through thought was really, really useful. So not only useful in my professional life, but also really useful in my personal life as well. And just a great life skill to have, and one that was particularly interesting for me. Yeah, my favourite part of the programme, it's a bit of a cliche, but was just getting to know the people and forming a network of individuals that I can call on, and I do call on relatively regularly to help me reflect on my thinking, but also to just kind of bounce ideas off. That was hugely valuable and important. The other piece that I'd say was so relevant is the acknowledgement that what we do in sales can be and should be professionalised, and that it's not kind of like a go-to for people that don't have a formal academic degree, but actually it is something that can be continuously improved through kind of iterations and improvements. So those two elements for me were highly valuable. Yeah, so the barriers that made me a bit nervous before committing to the programme was actually, frankly, the volume of work and the amount of written output that was required. And in fact, it did require a lot of dedication to deliver on those requirements, and it required a new way of thinking and some learning of some skills that I'd never had previously to be able to sit and think academically and then deliver writing in the right sort of style. So that was something that made me nervous. It was something that I think I managed to overcome, and it's something that actually has given me another skill set that I've used in various other aspects of my professional and personal life. There's a real sense of fulfillment having completed the course. Not only fulfillment that we've managed to get through what is a relatively complex academic process, and that it's going to be of huge benefit to us in our future lives, but also, frankly, there's a set of skills that we're able to use now and apply and contrast against the instinctive gut feel that we have. It's going to make us more productive, and it's going to make us more efficient, and it's frankly going to make our teams more engaged. And at the end of the day, all of those add up to fulfillment. So personal and emotional fulfillment in your career is something, or in my career, is something that I totally crave. I know that the teams that I work with crave that too. So being able to have a structured methodology to help people be fulfilled in their role or in their career, there's no better gift that you can give people, frankly. Yeah, so since the programme, my career has really gone from strength to strength, if I'm honest, and I really do attribute some of that success to having been involved in the programme. Initially, I think the organisation that I worked for it became very clear to people that I was taking my job and my progression very seriously, and that I was willing to invest significant time and effort into improving myself and to bettering myself and my skills. It also had an impact on the teams that I worked with. It allowed them to be more fulfilled, it allowed them to be more productive, and it allowed them to have more of a sense of togetherness and, frankly, of engagement, which is huge. And for the organisations that I've worked for, undoubtedly there's been huge impact in terms of, frankly, profitability, because we've been able to drive a more engaged workforce to deliver better results more efficiently, which I guess is kind of the holy grail for most organisations. So the way that I've described the course and the programme to colleagues that might be looking to do a similar thing is as follows: that whilst there's a real requirement for an investment of time and of energy and to learn new skills, the outcomes which are delivered as a result of that understanding, that knowledge, is huge. Undoubtedly it is relatively academic, and the skill set that you learn just in the way that you write about particular programs or projects that you're sort of investigating is a new skill set, and maybe not a skill set that you might see yourself using repeatedly in the future, but it gives you a malleability of thinking that I think is second to none. And frankly, it gives you a real confidence in knowing that you've understood some core principles and models and patterns that enable you to be more successful in your career as you move forwards. That, sort of coupled with the great network that you build through the programme, unrivaled as far as I can see.